Okay, let's jump right in. The way we fight cancer is going through a massive, fundamental revolution. We're moving away from that old, one-size-fits-all model to something that's way smarter, way more powerful, and, deeply personal.
So to really get what this shift is all about, think of it this way. Traditional treatment, like chemo, it's kind of like a shotgun. It just blasts away, hoping to hit the bad guys, the cancer cells. But in the process, it causes a ton of damage to all the healthy cells around them. But personalized treatment, that's a whole different ballgame. It's like a precision laser designed to target only the cancer's unique weak spots, leaving all your healthy tissue completely alone. All right, so here's the game plan for this explainer. We're going to look at the limits of standard care, then dive into this more precise approach. We'll decode cancer's weaknesses, check out the new tools and hope this offers, and even walk through the path to getting a plan. And finally, we'll talk about why the future is personal. Let's get to it.
Okay, first up, the limits of standard care. Let's really dig into why that one-size-fits-all approach just falls short for so many people.
So there are three really big problems with traditional treatments. First, effectiveness is all over the place. A standard treatment for, say, lung cancer might be a lifesaver for one person, but do absolutely nothing for another. Why? Because their tumors, deep down on a molecular level, are completely different beasts. Then, of course, you've got those brutal side effects from that shotgun approach we talked about. And finally, cancer is smart. It evolves, it builds resistance, and a rigid standard plan just can't keep up.
So if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, it's all about a more precise approach, tailoring the treatment directly to the tumor. This is a huge shift in thinking, right? We're not just looking at the type of cancer anymore, we're looking at the unique identity of that specific tumor. And that right there is the core of personalized oncology. It's not about treating breast cancer as one big category. No way. It's about figuring out the very specific genetic code, the unique molecular pathways that are making your particular tumor tick. And then we create a treatment designed to hit those exact weaknesses. So how do we actually do that? How do we decode a cancer's weaknesses? Well, this is where the really cool science comes in. Let's break down the method, using a company called Astron Health as our example. Okay, so it's this incredible three-step analysis. First up is genomic testing. Think of this like reading the cancer's DNA blueprint, right? We're looking for those specific mutations that are telling it to grow out of control. Then, step 2 is transcriptomic analysis. Now, if the first step was the blueprint, this step is like walking onto the factory floor to see which machines are actually switched on and running. It tells us what genes are active and what the cancer is doing right now. And finally, step 3. Pathway analysis. This is like mapping out the cancer's entire strategy, the roads and highways it's using to survive. And once we have that map, we can find its weakest points.
And once you have all that data, it unlocks a whole world of new tools and new hope. We're talking about expanding the treatment arsenal in ways that are just game-changing. Now, one of the most amazing tools in this new arsenal is something called drug repurposing. And this is so cool. It's literally using medications that were made for totally different things, like diabetes or high cholesterol, but have been found to have powerful anti-cancer properties. And the best part? These drugs have been around for years. They have proven safety records, they're usually much cheaper, and they're available right away.
And check out these examples. They're kind of mind-blowing. Metformin, a super common diabetes drug, it's been shown to mess with how cancer cells get their energy. Or statins, the pills millions of people take for cholesterol? They can actually get in the way of the pathways cancer needs to grow. This is not some far-off future stuff. This is about using the tools we already have, just in a much, much smarter way.
Then you've got this strategy that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction. It's called synthetic lethality. Here's the best way to think about it. Imagine a cancer cell is like a car that already has one flat tire. That's its genetic weakness. It can still kind of limp along on its spared tire, its backup system. Well, synthetic lethality is a drug designed to come along and slash that spare tire. For a healthy cell, no big deal. But for that cancer cell, it's game over. It's the ultimate precision strike that leaves healthy cells completely unharmed. Okay, so this all sounds incredible, but how does it actually work for a patient? What's the real-world path to getting one of these personalized plans? Let's walk through the journey, using Astron and their partners at Beacon Metabolic Care as an example.
For a lot of people, the process is actually pretty straightforward. Step 1 is having an existing genomic profile, from one of the big companies like Tempest, Caris, or Foundation One. Then step 2, a partner like Beacon Metabolic Care, or MMC, helps you get that uploaded to the Astron Health portal.
Step 3, Astron's tumor board gets to work analyzing all that data. And finally, Step 4, MMC helps interpret that report and create a real actionable plan, often using these repurposed drugs and supplements.
And what about the turnaround time? Well, it can be really fast. If you've already got a genomic profile, you could be looking at a 2-week time frame. If you need new testing done from scratch, it's probably going to be closer to 4 weeks.
Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room, cost. It's always a big question, right? So the investment can really vary. If you're an existing patient with MMC and you already have your genomic profile, you're looking at around $925. For a new patient, it's about $1,275. Now, if you need new genomic testing done, that adds a significant cost, bringing the total to somewhere between about $5,300 and just under $6,000. So it really depends on what you're starting with.
All right, let's pull back and look at the big picture here, because what we're talking about is the future. This is the dawn of a completely new standard of care.
See, this whole approach, pioneered by groups like Astron Health and Meakin Metabolic Care, is about shifting away from just attacking symptoms. Instead, we're addressing what's actually driving the disease. The goal isn't just to kill cancer cells anymore. It's to improve everything, to boost outcomes, to help stop the cancer from coming back, and to seriously improve a person's quality of life. It's all about being data-driven and completely centered on the patient.
And make no mistake, this is not some fringe idea. This is the direction everything is headed. As Astron Health themselves say, as research continues to advance, personalized oncology will become the gold standard of cancer treatment. So really, it's not a question of if this is going to be the new standard, it's just a question of when. We are absolutely moving toward a future where every single treatment plan is as unique as the person it's for.
So I want to leave you with this one final thought. For so long, the question was always, okay, what's the standard treatment for this type of cancer? But now we get to ask a much, much better question. What if the right treatment for your cancer is as unique as you are?